Everybody, and getting a chance to get back out on the field, which is good, and very excited, very pleased with the off season that we've had. Our players are really looking forward to getting back on the field and getting out there and practicing all the different things we'll be doing offensively and defensively and special teams. So, like I said, it's been a very productive winter conditioning program, and now we get to go to the next phase where we get to go out on the field and start to improve upon our fundamentals and techniques and getting ourselves more ready for 2012.
Aaron, I wonder, will you, in motivating your kids, will you not talk about last season, or will you use it as a motivator, as in saying, hey, we don't want to go through a season like that again?
Well, I think everybody has know they have a bad taste in their mouth in terms of what took place last year, and what we're going to do is we're just going to focus and concentrate on 2012 and work to improve each and every day, and know that what we have to do is we have to let our actions speak louder than words, and everybody's looking forward to being able to go out there and get back out on the field so we can prepare ourselves and get ready for the season.
Coach, with the one quarterback, CJ, what's your mindset heading into spring camp with that, and have you been able to add any new walk-ons just to help flesh out scout team or whatever in the spring?
Well, we're gonna just go full go and let everybody hit CJ all spring. No, he's not gonna get touched at all this spring. I mean, you know what he can do. I mean, he's a tough kid. He can take hits. He's proven that. So again, he'll run with the ones and just work to get better and take over that team. And then we were able to have Ricky Schultz come out as a quarterback. Ricky was a young man from Ellicott City, went to Mount Hebron, went to Shepherd, and was on the 13th quarterback there, and then transferred to Maryland. And now he's here, and so he's going to be out taking the snaps with the twos, and then we'll have Perry and Caleb enrolling in the fall, and we'll be in good shape.
Since the end of last season, a dozen guys have left the program with eligibility. What can you kind of say about that? To kind of what's your take on that, and also how much does that impact you during the spring, being down on bodies a little bit?
It's always disappointing. I think when when people decide to move on. We want all the players to graduate from Maryland and get their degrees, but just like in real life, when there's change, there's always going to be things that take place that you can't control, and it's not going to affect us at all in terms of the spring. The numbers, all it's going to do, it's going to allow a lot of other players to get plenty of reps and get better, and excited to see some of those guys get all those reps and to get better.
Was just wondering if, in your mind, in terms of fostering depth or whatever, what is job one? What makes spring football a success if we can accomplish X? Is there one thing that stands out in your mind? That hey, we've got to get this done. I want to get a better idea about this, or be set with this before we go to August.
Well, the thing that I've talked to our players about, we've talked since we started in January, and really there's 5 things that we've really talked about in terms of what we want to do and where we want to go. I mean, it's always a given that you want to get better at the fundamentals and the techniques and, understanding the game and, picking up the nuances of the offense and the defense and what you're doing special teams. But, the things that we've been, focusing on and, the things that I feel are important for us to continue and move our program forward is number one, is making sure that, we have everybody, is all in. Everybody understands, what the program is all about, what we're doing, and everybody is all in with it. The second thing is that, when you look at it, is, having a high standard of competing, and having that philosophy of playing every play like it's the last play you're ever going to play. Whether it's, in the off-season conditioning program, every rep they take, we want it to be the best that they take. And so we talked a lot about competing, and that's the same thing that we want to be better competitors. This spring, we want to be better finishers, because if you go back and look, we had a chance to finish some things a year ago, and we didn't do as good enough job of finishing games, and that's something that we have to do a better job of. So being all in, competing, finishing, we've got to be physically tougher. That's one thing, because to me, and my philosophy is, physically, I want to be tougher than the people that we're playing. And we need to be a much more physical football team, as we head into the spring, and then as we come out of spring. And then the last thing that we've talked about, and we want to be mentally tougher. When things don't go your way, all you do is you get more determined. You get more excited about going out there and getting it done. So, those are really the 5 objectives that we've talked to that I've talked to the guys about in terms of since we started January 25th, and then again this morning as we talked, as we head into spring practice. Because all the other stuff, is there. But unless we get those and we continue to get better in those areas, we're not going to be able to accomplish, the things that we're going to want to accomplish.
Randy, are there any specific ways that you can build mental toughness in spring practice? What do you have in mind?
Well, there's a lot of things that you can do, Eric. I mean, we even we did that. That's what I said. I thought our all-season program was really good. The thing that I'm really happy to see is, we ended up, doing a draft, and we picked out 16 leaders, and just watching those guys really kind of, get their teams in line, and we're still going on with that concept as we, go through the rest of the semester, because it's, part of it's academics and everything else where they can get points, and then also through the lifting that we'll do at the end of the semester. But the things that we were able to do in terms of creating situations during the off-season program to, make them go to more than what they thought they could do, and things along those lines. Same thing, from a mental toughness standpoint in the spring. There's going to be drills that we'll do or situations we put them in, that they're going to have to fight through. And so there's things that you can do. And again, it's the thing that I like is these guys that have been leaders, they've really taken the bull by the horn and, holding their own players accountable. And, that's the things that, you see happening and you see building. And now what we got to do, as I told them this morning, is we got to take what we just did for 6 weeks and now do it again for another 6 weeks. And if we can do that, then we're going to be well on our way to where we want to go. And then you're going to take all those outstanding recruiting class that we signed and bring them in and integrate them with what we already have, which is going to really aid us and help us as we get ready for August the 5th.
Coach, with these defections and your draft class and graduation, do you have a team now that you think is more of the guys that you like, the image, the type of players that Randy Edsall likes to coach?
I think that all of our players understand what the program is that we have here at the University of Maryland, and they get in terms of what we're trying to do and make them, better people, better students, and better athletes. they understand that. They're all in. The recruits that we have signed and are coming, they understand that and are on board. And that's why we were able to sign a top 35 class in the country, because they understand, what this is all about and how we're going to, aid them in their development and their growth as they go throughout their career, here at Maryland. So, and that's what we're going to continue to do and continue to sell, with, future recruiting classes.
Coach, we haven't spoken yet since you made the change with special teams. What do you see in Andre now from his past, getting Clemson and whatnot, that made you want to make that move and put in the charge?
Well, what I did is I took a look at the big picture for what we were doing, and what we were doing defensively, and taking a look at the emphasis in terms of personnel, on defense. And when you sit down and take a look at the defense that we're going to be running, probably the two most important positions on the defense are the Sam and the Will. And as a head coach, I got to sit there and say, am I doing what's best for the team if I have somebody coaching those two positions and then also have them do special teams, and now maybe I don't get the production from special teams or from those two positions that we're going to need to be successful. So as I looked at it, I said, I'm not being fair to our team and to the players if I have Lyndon coach both those guys plus be special teams. And very fortunate, because I think Lyndon does a great job with everything that he's been asked to do, but also then having the luxury of having a guy like Andre who's here, who has coached special teams before. This way, I just think what I've done in the off season is you make difficult decisions, but what you're doing is you're trying to make your team better. So having the addition of Lyndon coaching the Sam and Will and not having anything else to deal with, I think that'll make us stronger defensively. And then being able to take a guy like Andre, who has had experience and had success coaching special teams, and putting him in that role, and then also then having Mike come in and Brian come in, and from a coordinator's position, I think as a head coach, I've made the moves that we need to make in order to make us better.
Coach, after the rotating quarterback system last year, how have you seen CJ sort of handle knowing that he's the number one guy going forward, and it's his job to lose?
CJ's a competitor. He even though that he knows that he's the guy, CJ's going to go out there and just work his tail off each and every day. He's a guy that's not going to be satisfied, with whatever he does, on Saturday. He's going to work to be better on Tuesday. He'll work to be better then on Thursday. He's a guy that's a leader. The guy's respected. He's got a tremendous work ethic. So I don't see any issues with CJ at all. I mean, I'm just anxious to get him out there and let him be the leader of this team and leader of this offense, and go and do the things that he's capable of doing within what we want to do offensively.